I've paid you $10 million up front. I need that back.
Yeah.
Because you haven't even played.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to pay you for the next 2 years and you haven't even touched the field. Now you're thinking about transferring because things not going right. Well, how are we going to handle this? That is going to be the biggest concern, I think, for the NIL deals is they have to come up with some kind of constructed NIL contract to where you can't get one before you even step on the field. Your freshman year, you can actually, negotiate. But then after that, I seen you play. You're starting. You've put up some good numbers. I know the potential that you got. You was one of the top guys in your position this year. Let's talk about the NIL deal. Let's do a contract to where if I'm gonna pay you $10 million, I need to know you're gonna stay for 2 years.
Yeah.
If not, I'm scratching that and I need that money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be used like I could see it being a performance incentive.
Yeah.
So kind of like how he was saying, like you come in that freshman year, but hey, look, this is your stock, right? Or your draft stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you came out of high school. This is what you're worth right now. So if you come in your freshman year, you have the likelihood to play. You can go out here ball as a true freshman. Like, hey, this is what you're looking at going into your sophomore year. You could have a bunch of just like kind of like NFL contracts as a free agent. But hey, you got all these different NIL deals that you can sign because you performed, and they can sign them, and they could be a performance incentive. And then at the end of each, not semester, but at the end of each year, that's when you get rewarded. So if you go out, you talking to an NIL company, let's just say it was Mercedes or something like that. They'll be like, hey, look, this is what we think you're worth. Here's our little agreement we can have. Here's your contract for your sophomore year. You go out here, you ball out, we'll give you $5 million. Your junior year, you go out here, hey, we'll give you a free G-Wagon and give you some other type of incentive and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, instead of giving it to them up front because they can just take that, run off with it. Like, because, people are smart nowadays. Like, going in as a freshman, they give you $10 million, but like, hey, man, invest it. I got the bread right now. It's on me. Go invest this and that. You know what I'm saying? Cool. By the way, I hit my sophomore year. That $10 million to turn to 25 next year. They're gonna turn to 100. 100 gonna turn to 2, and now it's just like, hey, bro, I don't need football no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of not watering down. It's not watering down the game at all. Even though we already know the game's kind of getting watered down, all these new rules and stuff. That's a different topic. But I just feel like NIL is gonna take the hunger and the drive out of these college students to really get to where they want to go. Because the NFL is the end goal. You get there, you're gonna be set. It's something to work towards. But when they give you that reward so quickly, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like giving out trophies, like a participation trophy in a sense.
I would have, if I was over it, I would have just made it where like, okay, scholarship players just get bigger stipends. You know what I'm saying? Like they get that anyway, just give them bigger ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they, whether you're an athlete on scholarship or just a walk on or even a regular student for academics, like college life is still hard. Like, budgeting this amount of money I have to eat, you know what I'm saying, provide for myself. I'm paying, room and board, whatever. Like they should provide them more. So I do understand like the whole aspect of like players receiving some type of reward for providing these institutions all this money for playing on the field. But I think like he said, like one of y'all said, like some of these coaches, like, you know what I'm saying, making bare minimum $90,000 a year, and then you have a 17-year-old kid who just transferred in at Christmas break. You know what I'm saying? So he just plays spring ball and he get, $1.1 million deal. It's like, in my head, I'm coaching his ass hard as hell. Like, let's go. Again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna I'm in my head is weird. I wanted to ask you, Tommy, like, as you finish your college career in Nebraska, you, like most players who play the sport, I'm assuming your dream was to go pro. You know what I'm saying? Play pro, go pro. Tell us how that experience, before I get into specific questions about that, tell us how that experience was for you, like just that whole experience of going through the process to be in the NFL.
It's tough. You take all the tests that they make you take. You got times where coaches at one point they usually stay at a hotel like right down the street from the facility. They call you in, ask you questions about the season. They look at games. They tell me about this. You watch a little film, probably for like 20, 30 minutes. And you talked about I talked to probably about 5 or 6 teams. And then they get down to the nitty-gritty about just, for me, it was more of, I know I've seen tape of you playing linebacker. I've seen tape of you playing safety, receiver, quarterback. Like, what do you want to play? And for some of them, I told them, like most of them, I just said, look, I'm willing to play whatever. Because at that time, it was like if you willing to pay me, I'm willing to go down there and play special teams, whatever you need me to do.
Which is the right answer to tell them for sure. You can get in the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically, the grind is insane. Definitely for like grinding for pro day, you got to lift a lot. Those are times where you got to meal prep. You got guys that's our trainers that get on us in the morning and at night when it comes to running, conditioning, lifting, eating right, making sure we maintain weight, what we got to be at. At that time, they wanted me at 218, anywhere from 215 to 218. So I had to meal prep, get up early in the morning, lift, then run, then go back the next that afternoon, do the same thing for a solid 2-3 months.
Put that part into perspective. Like, how much you weigh right now?
222.
Oh, okay. So you were just 4 pounds less. Okay, I thought you were like, maybe a little 230-ish.
Nah.
Got you.
Yeah, I used to be that way, but I just started after having a kid and stuff like that. It was more of just I gotta stay in shape. I don't want no dad bod.
You running around rinsing bottles. So I understand. It'll burn calories for sure. I got you. For sure. Yeah.
So basically, the end it all off, it was just more of it's more mental than physical, to be honest. Definitely when it goes through all of this. That's why they actually put you through all those testing and stuff like that. Some like at the combine, I did not go to that, but I got buddies that went to the combine. They take blood work, they do all this stuff, and then they get you right out there to start running, start throwing. It's a mental game.
You weren't invited to combine?
No, I wasn't.
Was that hurtful? Was that like?
No, it made me work harder, man. It made me work harder. For me, I broke all records at Nebraska.
Right. Facts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that part don't make sense. I mean, it's kind of like It reminded me of another player we had on the show, Aaron Green. Like he said the exact same thing. He killed his last year at TCU, but he didn't get a combine invite. Like they didn't bring him in. Like, why do you think that happened?
For me, it's the elephant in the room. Skin color, height wise, I'm not the typical quarterback,
right? Prototype,
prototypical quarterback for the NFL as far as right now. Oh well, back then, but now they're looking for a dude that can run, that can throw, that could do all of the intangibles of basically getting away from the DNs that's running 4.4s and 4.5s now. Like
the
they're
game
not
definitely involved.
Yeah, they're not having a 6'7" quarterback just standing in the pocket and delivering balls like that. It's all spread offense where now you have to worry about my quarterback if you're gonna send pressure. But back then when I was playing, it was more of that. Like I said, those pro-style quarterbacks where they were standing in the pocket. And I was just looking for a chance. If I would have got on a roster somewhere, I would have stuck. I've never went somewhere where I've played quarterback and they said, nah, it's just not working. Right. Like I've always went somewhere and they said, we got to get you on the field. Like I don't care where it is. We have to get you on the field. Like when I was with Minnesota, they had me play 4 or 5 different positions. I had seen
safety,
receiver, safety, linebacker, and corner at times. And I was going crazy on special teams. And I had a couple of buddies that played there, 2 O-linemen that played for me in Nebraska. And I was just going through a bunch of stuff, like just trying to learn offense and defense. That's a struggle. Definitely if you're talking about NFL defense and offense, they have so many different tags. On offense, they have 2 different play calls. On defense, you have 2 different play calls depending on if it's 3x1 or 2x2. So it's like I'm trying to learn both of these in a matter of OTAs and rookie minicamp.
Damn.
And then the coaches are working with me one-on-ones because they're like, you need to learn this because you're really good. Just learn it. And I'm competing with dudes that's 7-year vets, and 4 of them. You got Harrison, you got. At the time, I think it was Pat P. All those guys that was on the team. I'm like, who am I trying to like actually take their spot? Mm-hmm. So I get there and my buddy's telling me, hey, look, if you can do anything, make it on special teams. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get through the whole little process. I'm going through special teams, and there was a time where we're in meetings and coach stood up and said, who's 31? I raised my hand. He was like, can somebody please block this dude? And I'm just making all plays, and I'm like, okay, cool. I get through rookie minicamp. I get invited to OTAs. So I'm like, shoot, preseason about to start. I get ready to head to the crib for like a week. Then they're like, hey, coach wants to see you. Bring your playbook. And I'm like, I'm hurt. So I'm like, bruh, I already know how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
But he was just like, you're competing with 4 vets. One of them we thought was gonna have knee surgery. He's actually coming back for preseason. See how that goes for him. But you're the first dude on our list to call back because basically safety, linebacker, you a dog on special teams. Never got that call, but I always stay ready. I've been playing indoor football. I've been doing as much as I can. Been in contact with USFL. That's a whole different story because it's guys that play in those leagues that I'm like, how is this guy playing and I'm not?
Yeah,
and it's just that's the process of it all. It's a whole mental game. If
The
you let it get
vulnerability,
to you.
dang, the vulnerability is amazing. That a lot of people won't say that. They won't say like, why is he playing in front of me? They just kind of be like, you know what I'm saying. But like for you to say like to have that concept, like, you know what I'm saying, this dude should not be playing in front of me. Like, I think that takes like a certain amount of like oomph about a person, especially a man, to like have that confidence. Like, nah, you should not be playing in front of me. Like, I'm saying, like, I think as men, you kind of had that mindset. You should have that mindset. I think that's dope that you are willing to say that. I wanted to ask you. So I want to ask you a deeper question. Yep. I usually ask like whenever I talk to college athletes and I ask them this question. It's a more serious topic, but with all the things we've seen with players getting charged with sexual assault, players getting charged with things of that nature, like what would be like your advice or your thoughts to like players who are either going into college now or who are in college now trying to go pro or whatever, like to avoid that? Because what I'm saying, we do see situations where it's he say, she say. We do see situations where it's falsified, situations. We saw something like that last week. But there are also situations where it's just like proven to be real. But like, what would be your advice to players to avoid that? You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I always tell my like former students, like, just don't date till you get pro. You know what I'm saying? Just like don't even date in college because like it's a dangerous game sometimes now. So what would be your advice?
Honestly, the biggest advice I can tell you is you have your whole life to do stuff outside of football. And I wish I could go back in time and tell myself that in my freshman year of college was you have from 23 years old or 22 years old to whenever you decide or God decides to take you off this earth that you can enjoy your life. But in college, you got to understand that you're there for football. Like a lot of kids don't understand that because you're the biggest name in college. If a party goes down and things happen or a fight happens or whatever, they don't care about Billy that's just his parents are paying for his tuition, that he parties every weekend 4 days out of the week. They're worried. They are worried about the dude that is on the pedestal, the dude that is on that team. Oh, he's a football player. What's his name? Okay, cool. We need to put this out in the air. The biggest thing, like I said before, is it's a reality check with a lot of kids. Is the realization of it all is when you get to college and you're a big time name, you walk in the door with a target on your back. No matter what you go through, from classrooms, they know who you are. You walk in the store, they know who you are. You can just be driving down the road and somebody look like this and say, "Oh, hold on. Hey, that's the quarterback, or that's the running back, or that's the receiver." No matter where you go, you're gonna have eyes around you. That's the biggest thing. And nowadays, people with phones, it could be a shooting. They doing this.
Right.
They running. It's crazy.
They recording that mug.
No cap.
Running towards like tornado. Oh my God, tornado!
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and that's my biggest advice for kids that's going to college is worry about what you can control, and that's football and school. Because when it's all said and done, the people that's around you are around you because of your name, not because of, oh, well, I've known him for 10 years. They're around you because of the simple fact of the matter is you're a hot topic right now. When things break down and things don't go your way, that same group of people that was around you at that party or at that club, they're going to be at that same club when you locked up somewhere. So that's the biggest thing that most people don't really understand. That's the biggest thing that I would tell those kids that's going into colleges. Focus on what you can control, and the other stuff will come later. It's more of just football and making sure you can put yourself stay on the right path. Because at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control, and that is staying on the right path. Because once you veer right or veer left, everybody else they gonna let your hand go and let you follow the course of whatever you may guide yourself to. Some people, like you said, they make a mistake and they got to live with it. They may get behind the wheel of a car. Oh yeah, I got y'all. Everybody else is like, all right. You get pulled over, you get put in handcuffs. They not worried about all the people in that car. They worry about the person that was driving. And your name is, for instance, like that would be like if I got DUI. I'm 29 years old. If I drive to Nebraska right now and I've been drinking, I get pulled over, guarantee you it makes the front page of the newspaper. Sure. Tommy Armstrong, quarterback from Nebraska, gets pulled over for DUI. And I ain't played in 6 years. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. When you have a big name, it comes with big responsibilities. So that's what the biggest thing for them is. If you got a big name, you gonna have a lot of responsibilities. And a lot of people are gonna try to put their hand in the cookie jar that ain't been there for you. And you got to lean on your family to help you in certain situations like that.
I never heard nobody say the exact way you said it. That was dope. You said you have all your life, to how are you? But basically, you're saying like when you at school, you need to focus on football in school. You have all your life after that to focus on life. Like I think that's like I never heard Herm Edwards or nobody who gives these motivational speeches say it plain like that. Like you're here for these reasons. Like. Focus on this, you know what I'm saying? Because boys for sure, we all men in here. Like you go to a new place, you know what I'm saying? Where are they at? You know what I'm saying? Yep. Where is they? I'm trying to find them today.
And I was gonna add to that too because I feel like because us growing up together, I looked at like he's my only brother, so I always looked at him as like for guidance and stuff, and seeing how it was in Nebraska and that situation and that just environment. Like it's a very unique. Like when you say Nebraska, you tell somebody like, "Oh, I'm going to Nebraska." They're like, "What you going to Nebraska for?" But when you go up there and you actually see the camaraderie and like it's like a country up there, bro. Like that's how they move. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming from a sports background. You know what I'm saying? I was PWO at UTSA. So I got to live the side of being an athlete in college and then also being a student, living the student lifestyle. And what I feel like people get caught up in is when we go back to what my brother was talking about, leaving and like maturing, being able to mature and grow up on your own. Kids who are on scholarships, who go play sports or just whatever it is, they might be an academic scholarship, you lose that sense of responsibility because you're not having to engage in the responsibilities of like, okay, I got to get this bread. I got to figure out a way to make some bread so I can pay for these classes. I got to figure out a way to make this bread so I can eat, so I can get this car, so I can do this and do that. And whenever you're providing for yourself, you have that sixth sense to your mind where it's like, okay, I got to make sure I'm not messing up. I got to make sure I don't get off track because I'm putting in all this work to be able just to stay in school and to go to these classes and whatnot. But when you got kids who are on scholarship, they playing ball, their day, all it consists of is waking up, going to workouts, going to class, going to practice, eating, going out with friends, chilling. No real responsibilities and whatnot when it comes to outside of football. And going back to what he was saying about, you're there for a reason. That's really what it is. Like you got a scholarship. A scholarship goes back. That scholarship is basically an NIL deal. That's just a school telling you like, hey, we're investing 4 years worth of education in you because we feel like you can come up here and play ball. That is your job. So when you go up there, that's what you got to focus on because if you're not performing nowadays, somebody will take your scholarship and kick you off the team. You know what I'm saying? They will kick you off the team, but hey, you're not producing. We turn into like an NFL type of business, bro. Like, yeah, get you up out of here. We got another 4-star that's coming up. We got a 3-star right behind him and a 5-star that's a freshman right now. We not worried about you. So people fail to think about that and realize that. And they, like me and him was talking about this earlier. Like people, like us growing up, our people taught us, hey, you need to think ahead of time. Like you need to think down the road. We talk about this all the time, Devo. Like a lot of people get caught up thinking about the now. You know what I'm saying? They think about the now, what's going on now. It's like, okay, just because you got a party going on down the street after a football game don't mean you got to go to it. You got workouts in the morning. You got 5:30 a.m. run. Like, why are you going out here getting involved in these wrong people? And just like we was talking about John Morant last episode, it's like You don't got to get caught up in these people. That is not your lane. That's not what you need to do, because like he was saying, you get caught up in a situation. We go out to a party. Let's just say we all D1 athletes. We all go out to a party. We drink and just had a crazy game. Then you got Joe Schmo and Billie Jean over here turned up. Like you said, parents paying their tuition, getting drunk and whatnot. One of them come up and stick Devin, sneak him. And then we start getting jumped. And then we start fighting back and we defending ourselves. And we beat them up.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be, oh yeah, like these kids at the University of Nebraska or UTSA, like the fight breaks out at this party. It's gonna be 4 student athletes on the football team at the University of Nebraska beat up these regular students. And it's gonna be our face on the news. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like with, like, I forget the term that I'm trying to use, but it's like you're gonna have great responsibility when they got you up on that pedestal, you know what I'm saying? And you're representing a brand at the end of the day. Like there's a brand you're representing and you can't embarrass that, because the coaches in the school, they gonna pick themselves before they pick you. They not gonna let you put themselves in a hole like that just because you're not thinking wisely, you're not making right decisions and whatnot. So if I could give some advice to people, I know I wasn't like a big D1 athlete or anything like that, but I know enough, you know what I'm saying, to where it's go there, get your business done. Marshawn said it right, bro. Go there, focus on your chicken, focus on everything you need to do, because it's the end goal. You go there, keep your head down, grind for 4 years, bro. You're gonna get up out of there. You're gonna be able to live a comfortable life and do everything you wanted to do. Any things you never thought you'd ever be able to see and be able to actually partake in and stuff. That's what it's gonna be. So don't think about the now. Like don't think about how things are. You struggling right now and whatnot. It's like, bro, keep your head down, do what you got to do. You there for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
And with the coaches, it's like you was just saying, the biggest advice I got from a coach, and he wasn't telling me this, he was telling the team, Coach Bo Pelini. Oh, wow. He said,
that's dope. Air horn for that. That's a big name. That's a big name. That's a big name.
He said, they will get rid of me before they get rid of you. At the end of the day, you're on scholarship. You guys are on scholarship. If you're not performing, they won't get rid of you. They're going to get rid of the coaches. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why, like, with the responsibility for kids, when they come into college, they don't understand the hardship of, this is why you're getting coached hard. This is why you got to go through hell before the season starts, because your performance affects 13 to 14 other coaches and their families. They're getting paid, but their job is to make sure that you're performing. So if you're out there running the streets, doing this, doing that, they got to find somebody to replace you.
All right.
I gotta go look for somebody else, because this dude here is tricking off. Because at the end of the day, like I said, they're going to get rid of those coaches, and you're still going to have your scholarship, and you're going to be sitting in them chairs talking about who's going to be our next coach this year.
Yep.
That's it. Like the Colorado coach, he gone.
Yeah.
They I don't think they won a game last year.
Well, I think one game.
One
game.
10. Yeah.
One game.
It's crazy.
His family got to relocate. His daughters and son was in a new school, all this and all that. Now they got to pack their bags and go somewhere else.
Because Dion coming in with that Louis.
Yep. Facts. But it's a business. Regardless of what you play, it's a business.
Yep.
And there's not a time where you'll go to work on a 9-to-5 job and you'll come in drunk and they'll say, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You smell like alcohol. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're going to fire you on the spot. I'm sorry, but this is not how our business is ran. That's not professional. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to let you go. And they're going to have somebody else right in there. That's how they got to look at football in college. Yeah. It is a business. Once you walk through those doors, you sign your letter of intent and all that, you walk through there, there's no, oh, I'm a 5-star, I'm a 4-star. Everybody was a dog in high school.
Yeah.
Now it's who's going to be a dog in this room? Now it's competing. I sat in a room with 9 other quarterbacks, and I was a freshman. I went from 7th on the depth chart to 2nd in a year.
Yeah.
Because I had that mindset. I was just like, bro, like, I've always been doubted. So.
And really, before we even get off the topic, there was something I wanted to mention last time when I was bringing up Nebraska, when last time I was speaking, how they move like a country, bro. Like, and how you were saying, like, when you're an athlete, people are gonna notice you off rip. You're gonna be wearing athletic clothes. You're gonna be, you're gonna be representing the brand essentially. And I remember we were in Nebraska, bro. Like, Lincoln, Nebraska is where the university is at, and we're in a place called Columbus, which is like maybe 2-3 hours away. We get out, go to a gas station that's like in the middle of nowhere. He's pumping gas. Somebody walks up like, oh, that's Tommy Armstrong. Hey, can I get a picture? Blah, blah, blah. Like, we go out to eat somewhere. Somebody's walking up. And I tell Devin this all the time. Like, imagine being in Texas and the University of Texas being the only Division I school that plays football. Everybody in Texas is a UT fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to every edge of Nebraska, everybody's a University of Nebraska fan. Everybody's go Huskers. Like they got
Red,
300
Yep.
300 some consecutive sellouts. Like the atmosphere is
373.
crazy. So it's like that just goes to tell you, like, you got eyes on you everywhere. You're not just gonna walk around ducked off. Like they gonna know who you is. And then people gonna be like, oh, well, I don't know what happened over here during this scuffle, but I saw Tommy over there in the corner. It must have been his party. It must have been his function. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
party, Tommy.
I wasn't even there.
I wanted to ask you one more Nebraska question that popped in my head. So me growing up, when I first got into football, like I was a late bloomer in football, but like this one player like really stuck out to me. I know when I say his name, I'm like, oh yeah, Eric Crouch, right? So like
The crazy thing about it is that's how God works right there. You know who I rode to Texas in the plane with? Eric Crouch.
here coming now, right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was
That's
like
crazy.
he was
That's live.
He was one of my favorite like he's probably like one of the first quarterbacks I saw that was just like that dynamic, like just the way he played, like he was like what we see now, like fast, option read, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't like he wasn't like Tebow. He was like way more elusive, way more athletic, like fast. Won the Heisman. But like when you got to Nebraska, like of course that name is everywhere. I'm sure there's pictures. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, with him there. Like did you I'm not gonna say did you feel pressure? You don't seem like you would feel pressure, but like did you almost feel like that's the style of quarterback I play, so I have to, you know what I'm saying, I'm like gonna be, you know what I'm saying, like you're gonna be compared to him in a sense, you know what I'm saying, because you play you're an athletic quarterback, but like did you ever feel like damn, I'm not Eric, or like, you know what I'm saying, or did people like keep on mentioning his name to you when you were there? Like did any of that type of stuff ever happen?
No, not really, because at Nebraska, we were known for having scrambling quarterbacks.
That's true.
So it was more of like
You're next.
we have to win. They tried one of my good friends, Joe Gans. He was a pocket passer, played for 2 years and broke all types of records, threw for like 4,000 yards both years. But being able to, they're telling us, hey, look, when we do conditioning, you guys are with the skill guys. You're not with the linebackers or nothing. You guys are gonna run, so you're gonna be with the receivers and the DBs doing conditioning. And I'm like, hold on, what, bro? Like, I've never heard of that. And like, oh well, you got to get used to it. So we're running. I'm starting to bulk up and get faster, get stronger. But I understood what responsibility came with it, because that's how they view quarterbacks. Like, you're going to be, like they say, a running back that can throw. And that's basically, if you look at before me, all of them were basically runners. You know, you got Tommy Frazier, wasn't really a great passer, but could run the ball. Eric Crouch, really good runner.
Yeah.
Didn't really throw the ball, triple option, all those. Like, once they broke around that corner, you wasn't catching them. But then it was like, look, we know we can run the ball. We got these big linemen. We got to be able to throw the ball now.
He loves saying that. He like, man, but can he throw though?
Can
he throw?
But as a quarterback, you feel that same way though? Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I'm saying, we had this conversation like for an hour last time. Like, I'm an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I've been in track star my whole life. Like, real talk. So I love speed. But like, if I'm my quarterback, I need him to throw the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for San Antonio for years, Judson High School like was a powerhouse. Before still it was Judson, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? They were the mecca of football here in San Antonio, and they had like they have a long lineage of amazing running backs that came from that school. I mean, All-Americans, like amazing running backs, like just all kind of great running backs. But they would just run 42 ISO, and they would just run. And that's right. Running backs have 300 yards a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were amazing about that. But then you have all these great receivers who were just like standing there and never getting a pass ever. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even throw a 9 route. They would just run the ball. So like, after a while, it was like, okay, like, really, what's the point of even having a quarterback? We'll just go out there and play Wildcat. You know what I'm saying? And so like people start leaving Judson and going to other schools and moving to different neighborhoods and then going to Steele. Like, Steele has a lot of players who lived and grew up in Judson District who moved over to Steele because of that same thing. So again, for me, my quarterback, yeah, he can be athletic for sure. You know what I'm saying? Get your money. But at some point, I need you to be able to throw a slant, you know what I'm saying, to his chest, you know what I'm saying, and let him get busy. So that's my own thought with that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I feel you.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this. I mean, you might know it, but Frank actually grew up in the Judson area.
Yeah,
Frank
he's one of my former students. Like
Yeah.
his mama told me he won't be at Judson High School. He's going to Clemens.
Went to Clemens. Yeah.
That's how she said it.
Yeah, she's like, he won't be here, baby. He going to Clemens. I'm like, okay, you know, cool. Do you think?
No, facts. And on the outside looking in, I remember when he was first going to Nebraska, a lot of people compared him, like running wise, a lot to Tommy Frazier. I don't know if it's just because they had the same name, but that was a person that they would always be like, oh yeah, you got Tommy Armstrong's like the next Tommy Frazier, because Tommy Frazier used to go crazy.
He used to go crazy. YouTube and y'all know who he is. Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want
Oh yeah, but like not to pivot, but
it's a good one.
shout out to the pivot. But yeah, Christmas, around Christmas time, you're considered a hero, man.
Yeah, come on, get your bag, boy.
Kudos to you, man. You know, saving
Appreciate
those people. Run me by, like, how did that happen? How did God place you at that place at that time for you to be able to save those people?
Honestly, it's all my mom's. It's all my mom's work, to be honest. My mom, we were just sitting down watching. I think it was Monday Night Football. Actually, was getting ready to watch that. We had just winding down for the day. My mom usually, she's like I call her neighborhood watch. She usually sits on the couch. We got one window that's basically in front of the house that she always looks through to make sure people not who drives in her yard. She can see, okay, your sister's here. Okay, your cousin's here. Who is that? Oh, I need to see who that is. But luckily, she was sitting there at the time, was sitting there just talking. And her, my wife, and my son had just went to sleep. And she's like, it's a fire over there. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, seriously, it's a fire. I'm like, nah. She's like, no, seriously. And she jumped up, ran out there, and basically she was like, no, put your shoes on. It's literally a fire. I'm like, all right, here I come. I'm just like, nah, it ain't really that bad. And then I come out of the house, and I'm looking across the street, and I'm like, oh, crap. It's actually like the whole left side of the house on fire. So I run over there. At first, like in the South, they're known for bonfires. Like they usually have this big, canister and throw a bunch of wood in there, sit out back and light the wood on fire, stand over the fire, stay warm, stuff like that. It was kind of a little chilly day. My mom always say, every time you come and visit, you always bring the cold weather with you. So it was like probably like 40 something.
That's cold. That's cold.
Yeah. So we get out there, and I run across the street, and I realize, oh crap, the house is actually on fire. Front door is on fire. And it was actually my mom's best friend. We call her our cousin, but she's actually like just our best friend. We've known her since I was like a little jit. So it was more of, okay, who's in the house? So I'm yelling. One, his name is Mr. Tommy, his wife, Miss Eva, and Tamika and her two daughters. Tamika is my sister's like best friend. At the time, she had just, I guess they all lived together. She had just moved back in the house with her mom and stuff like that. So I'm yelling, Tamika, are you in there? Like, who's in there? So I hear a little faint voice. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, what am I gonna do? So I'm like, at this point, the house on fire. I need to start throwing stuff through windows to see if they can actually get out. Because once that black smoke actually start consuming the house, it just basically paints a black little screen on the windows. So I just started throwing bricks through windows, run around the side of the house. And my mom's standing there, and Mr. Tommy actually walks out of the back door, but he has a hose, and he's spraying like the back patio just to get them out. And he ended up getting his wife out, Miss Eva. She ends up getting out, and Tamika and her two kids were still in there. Wow. So I'm like, okay, where are they at? And he's like, well, last time I seen them, they went to the room. Tamika ran back there to get her kid or her daughter. They're in the back room somewhere. I'm like, okay, where's the other daughter? She's like, well, she was in the restroom, but I tried to knock on the door to tell her to come out, and she said give her a second, but the fire happened. And not to cut that story off, but the reason why it happened was because they had a space heater connected where a Christmas tree was, and I guess they had a little like a spark, but it didn't really. It caught the space heater on fire, but they ended up putting kind of the space heater fire out, but I guess the flares from it caught the couch on fire, and they started putting that out. But what they didn't realize was when we saw the fire, it was from the outside, because what ended up happening was the basic outlet sparked all the insulation from the in between the walls, because you got insulation in each wall. That basically caught all that on fire, caught that house on fire on the left side. So I ended up finding a way to get to that back room, because Mr. Tommy actually ran through the back door. I was trying to get him to explain to me the layout of the house, because I didn't want to go into the house where I didn't know basically the layout. I could go in there, couldn't see, and he took a right and I took a left, and now I'm stuck. So basically he was telling me, he was like, you just got to go in, take a right, take a left, and then the living room's right there. That's where the fire started. Then take a right, hard right, then go down the hall, and then it's a right turn, a left turn. I was like, bro, what? And like 2 seconds later, he just ran in there. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I'm like, okay, where's the rooms that they're in? And Tamika's mom let me know that it was the back right room. And they had like this big AC unit on it. And all of a sudden I hear some banging, and it's Tamika saying, I'm trying to get out, I'm trying to get out. And so at the time, man, my mom's trying to pull the AC unit off, but usually time in the South, what they do is they basically seal it. After they put that AC unit in there, they seal it to where it's basically concrete. So I had to basically run and keep ramming it with my shoulder. And about the time I got that out, Mr. Tommy was in there, and he was like, he had a foot through, and I'm sitting here like, who is, like, I'm pulling on his foot, and he's like, I'm trying to get Tamika, I don't know where she's at. And I'm like, just come out. And as he's coming out, like that black smoke, like as that window broke, all that black smoke just started coming out. So I knew right away that like it was gonna be hard to get in there. But at the time I was like, there's no choice. I have to try to get through to this window. And I ended up seeing a daughter, she crawls out, and then I ended up just taking my hoodie, putting it over my head, and basically taking it like this part of my hoodie and just tightening it as far as I could. So all I had was this. I stuck my head in at first, couldn't see nothing. Like it was just like, soon as you put your head in that smoke, everything started burning like right away. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know what I'm gonna have to do. So I had to hold my breath, close my eyes. I crawled in there and I just got as close as I could to the ground. And my mom, actually, a neighbor from down the street, ran, and he had like this big spotlight, like one of those yellow spotlights with the like cages over him. He's just pushing, and it's just a big beam. So I just started doing this, covering my eyes. I'm wiping my eyes the whole time. And I think the scariest part was when I actually found her. She was like in between the dresser and the bed on the opposite side. And she had passed out from carbon monoxide poisoning. And her eyes was just wide open, and they were like a grayish color. So I pulled her, and as I pulled her, I pulled her across, picked her up, pulled her across the room. I could see like the fire from the hallway. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get her out quick. So I pick her up and I started dragging her. I told my mom, I said, look, I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna give you her arms. And I gave her her arms. And I kind of like stuck my head out the window to where it was like I was trying to like get that black smoke from burning my eyes, but it was already too late. I was like, whatever. So I went back in there, picked her up, and gave my mom her arms and stuff. And as I did that, they pulled. I picked her up, and we got her out. I came out of there, and the daughter that was, as I was doing all that, the daughter that was actually, I salute her the most because that's who my wife actually helped out. As I was doing all that, she jumped out of a window from the bathroom, because the bathroom was connected to the patio. So it's like a little small window. She jumped out of there because the hallway that she could get out to, she had to come out of the door, take a left, and then take another left to the living room. But that whole area was on fire. And that door that she was basically trying to open was basically burning up. So she jumped out. She ended up slicing her wrist to the bone, and she basically damaged like some major arteries. She just had surgery, so everything's good with her. She ended up like cutting her calf to the bone, but my wife luckily covered her up, took her jacket and stuff off, and covered up all her cuts and waited for the ambulance to get there. But we ended up getting her out. She stayed eight days in the hospital from carbon monoxide poisoning. I ended up getting checked out just to make sure I didn't have any black stuff in my lungs, but I was good. But overall, it's a blessing that my mom was sitting where she was sitting, because honestly, I was watching the game. My mom was sitting kind of like where you sitting, but the window was right here. If she would have closed, she usually closed the blinds around like 8 o'clock, 8:30. It happened around like 7:45, right before the game started, and it's crazy, man. It's because usually when she says, oh, "Okay, close the blinds," I go like this and just close the blinds. But she saw that flame, and we ran over there, and luckily we got her out. She's good to go. I talked with her 2 days ago. She's at doing Mardi Gras right now in Louisiana, so everything's going well for the family. Surgery went well. I think we raised up to $14,000 for the family, and just GoFundMe and stuff like that, just so they can, because they lost everything. Crazy. You have everything for Christmas, have all your stuff sitting under the Christmas tree that you got, new clothes, new phone, all types of stuff, and then all of a sudden your house catches on fire and you lose everything. It's just like, luckily they got a lot of good friends and family members that stay in the neighborhood that kind of, let them stay with them for a while till they got everything back on track. They just actually broke the house down just to rebuild it. So they're gonna basically knock it down to the foundation and then build it all the way back up, and it's gonna be a 2-story house instead of a 1-story house. So they got a lot of work to do, but I think overall everything is a blessing because everybody came out safely.
Man, this show is called Crowd Favorite, and so I think I speak for everybody in the room. We're gonna definitely have to, salute you for that, man. That's super amazing. I mean, wow. I mean, I was getting teary-eyed listening to the story. I just, one of the phrases I hate hearing people say is, "I'm living my best life," because I've always felt like, we're not cats. You know what I'm saying? We only have one life to live, and so you should be living the best of your ability and to be the best version of yourself every day. But like, just the, you know what I'm saying? Because and just hearing the story, like, I'm sure everybody in the room had different thoughts, and people who know the story from the news or whatever, like, not every single person would have had the, the sacrificing mindset to go in that burning house and try to save somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because because everybody has, like, their own families to get to, and some people do this every day. They go in there and don't come out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had your own version of Backdraft. Like, that was, you know what I'm saying, a great movie if you've never seen it. But just that's amazing, man. Like, super amazing. Like, just another, I guess thing on your resume of just how great, Tommy Armstrong Jr. is. So super dope. We're gonna jump into we kind of got into your world. You know what I'm saying, in a lot of different ways. We're gonna introduce you to our world now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Crowd favorite, some good sports talk. So we'll start with the season ended. Got to ask you, who'd you go for, Eagles or Chiefs?
To be honest, I went for the Chiefs.
Huh?
I went with the Chiefs.
You were going for them?
Yeah.
What was your reason? Go ahead.
So to be honest,
You can't even say it. You know what I'm saying? Sentence fragments. Go ahead.
So look. So as I was in college, going through all my stuff because I had. Let me make it clear. I had 6 teammates that played for both teams.
Total?
So, total.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had 3 on 1 and 2 on the other.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a toss up, but I had to go with the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes was my roommate and at the Peyton Manning Academy. So it's him, Deshaun Watson, Josh Dobbs, and Baker Mayfield. So like
that room was crazy. That is some crazy names.
Yeah.
So those are my roommates for Peyton Manning Academy. So it was just more of, all right, this is my dog, so I got to go for him.
You talk to any of them now still?
Yeah, a back and forth, but it ain't where it's like, hey, what you doing, bro? Blah blah blah. This that. Nah, right. It ain't like that. Like I know he got all this stuff that's going on. So,
well, I think I know me and Devin went for the Eagles. Who'd you go for, Trey?
Patriots.
You didn't hear the question. It was all good.
No. Honestly, for me, when I was watching the game, it was cool. I was just more excited about just seeing like the 2 brothers
black
playing and then the black quarterbacks playing too. But really, it came down to like I just wanted to see Jalen Hurts get him one.
I did. I feel like honestly, I said that I was going for the Eagles. I said I was going for the Eagles, but I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
Yeah.
Because of 15. But I did and I did tell this right after the game was over. I said, I feel like that might have been like Jalen Hurts' like most opportune time to get a ring because it's so hard to get back to it. Look at the Rams this year. I mean, championship to not even making playoffs.
Well, I don't think the Eagles gonna be like that next year.
Well, I mean, unfortunately there's salary caps in NFL, and it's a low salary cap, so it's hard to keep the same team every year. You can't really run it back. You know what I'm saying? Like players,
I think the Chiefs is going to be better than they were this year.
Next year,
this year was their rebuilding year,
quote unquote. Like rebuild, win a ring. I got you.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, so yeah. With that being said, we'll jump into some free agency. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna name some teams, and everybody just kind of give their opinion of who you think gonna go there as the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? We'll start with quarterback.
You referring to the draft?
No, we'll do that. Well, I'll name teams, and you tell me who you think gonna be the quarterback next year, day when the season opens.
All right.
All right, here we go. First team, easy one, Raiders. We'll start with you, Tommy. Who you think gonna be quarterback when the season starts?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, Trey.
I say it makes sense to be Aaron Rodgers. So
Aaron Rodgers.
I probably end up going. I would like to see that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
See him at Adams.
I understand why y'all say Aaron Rodgers, but I say C.J. Stroud.
Why?
I say C.J. Stroud. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, man, like you don't know if he's gonna be there for 2 years or 3 years. He's gonna be season by season at this point. So it's like, why not get somebody that's a rookie on a rookie deal? You know what I'm saying? Versus and someone that is gonna be here 3 to 4 years versus having someone that may just bank out in a year or two, especially if it don't work out.
Well, reason being is because like they would know what they're paying for.
Right. I mean, yeah, because I don't.
So it's kind of like, okay,
I don't know what CJ gonna
like
be.
CJ would end up being a risk because it's not like he's not a good quarterback, but they would have to be taking a gamble on it. They'd be like, all right, yeah, let's give him this money, let's bring him in. We feel like he can turn this the team around and whatnot, but who's to say he don't get in there, he don't mesh with him. You know what I'm saying? He don't become a good quarterback and whatnot.
So y'all think the Raiders are quarterback away?
Well, I feel like they could definitely end up producing a lot more. Not saying that, A-Rod going there is going to make them like, they're going to the Super Bowl like off rip, but knowing his history with Devontae Adams and whatnot, like, and just him going there, that can sway some more players to end up being like, hey, I'm trying to go to the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Some more receivers can go there and be like, hey, I know we got a veteran quarterback. We got a veteran number one receiver there. They already got chemistry. You know what I'm saying? So that can just be the leading domino that leads into the domino effect of them turning into something. And you got to think too, when like you said, A-Rod might go there, he might be a season by season basis, but when he gets there, it's like, okay, I'm back with my boy Adams. They're actually gonna give me what I want when it comes to this team and all that stuff, getting some more targets, some more teammates and whatnot. He can end up being like, hey, you know what? Yeah, throw me on a 3-year deal. I'm gonna stick it out. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So that's why
I just never been a fan of. I also think Aaron Rodgers, by the way, but I've just never been a fan of like. It doesn't matter how good you are in college. A lot of times you are the man playing amongst boys. Mm-hmm. NFL, like it's all grown men who were all the dogs in college and high school and so forth. So it's like the mecca of football. So I feel like if you have somebody is Aaron Rodgers, they know about you ain't comparing him to nobody else. You're not mistaking him for nobody else. Like we know exactly who A-Rod is. So for me, it's like, okay, like if I can get Aaron Rodgers, even if it's for 2 years, like at least if he retired in 2 years, I'm still relevant enough to try to, you know what I'm saying, get another free agent to come over here and keep that train moving. Like, I'm not putting all my money on any rookie when I can get Aaron Rodgers. Like, now there's other quarterbacks, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know, Daniel Jones, maybe, you know what I'm saying, but it's Aaron Rodgers. That name has a higher pedigree, so I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
I got a good analogy for that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of like, because we was talking to Lamar, shout out Lamar, you know what I'm saying, big pro fight. My brother was getting chopped earlier, and we were talking about
Lamar Jackson.
No.
My line brother.
But my brother was getting a chop earlier. We were just talking about like barber school and whatnot, and it just made me think that whole conversation. It's like, would you rather say, because we talk about like that dude Vic Blends, he's like the famous barber. He be on TikTok and whatnot. That's like you seeing him, you done seen his work, you done see what he can do, and he charged $100 a cut, or I'm not saying that's what he charged, but let's just say if it was like, yeah, it's $100 for this fade. Now you sitting there and you're just like, okay, do I want to go to Vic, who I know what he's going to produce? I've seen his work and it's $100, so I know what I'm paying for. Or am I going to go down to the barber school to see Joe Schmo in chair number 4, who I done seen him cut some decent heads, but he don't really got the portfolio, and they only charged me $7. So it's like, I can go off of some people's word and, I think you good enough. And I think that you can turn into a great barber and whatnot, or do I just want to take my hard-earned money and invest into something that I know when I get out the chair I'm going to be icy? You feel what I'm saying? That makes
valid.
sense?
I feel what you're saying.
Makes sense.
Next team, we'll go with the New York Jets.
All right.
Not Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I got A-Rod. Yeah, I got A-Rod. Joe Namath even said he'll unretire his jersey for him to come, you know what I'm saying, to New Jersey. But yeah, nah.
That's like I'll bring you a pizza. You know what I'm saying?
But like I personally think that the Jets are a quarterback away. I think that Aaron Rodgers he can make do with the receivers that they have. They can add a receiver there to that receiving corps with Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, or you can get Derek Carr. No, I like him better than the Saints, even though he had a good visit. I like him with the Saints.
What's the better receiving core, Jets or Raiders?
Oh, Raiders off the rip.
Okay, then.
But yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Big ups to all my haters.
But look at this. Okay, who has the better defense?
I asked about receivers, but I mean,
okay, we get that. We get the chemistry, blah blah blah.
Jets.
But all right, offense only sell tickets. Defense wins championships. So,
offense wins games.
And Chiefs ain't play no defense, and they won. Just saying, this is outscored the other team.
But how did the Eagles defense play?
They both played horrible. They were absent from class. You know what I'm saying, skipping.
All right, but the Eagles were one of the top defenses in the league. They just didn't show up. But what I'm saying is more the story.
They didn't win that championship. Then.
More the story. I feel like the Jets are a better put together team than the Raiders. Yeah, you got Devontae Adams. I don't know what the logistics of like the money gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason Devontae dipped. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that personally, like if you get Aaron Rodgers, who else they gonna be able to afford?
So I mean, this kind of reminds me of like
one or two other players, like big name players, but the Jets already got a solid team. So I like A-Rod with the Jets.
Okay. Saints, you say Derek Carr?
Yeah, Derek Carr, but they didn't go.
Oh my bad, my fault.
I was about to say
Jets, my fault.
I honestly think Brissett's gonna go to
Jacoby Brissett. Oh, that's an interesting take. Wow.
Because he actually did really well with
Indy.
He actually did
Cleveland.
really well with Cleveland before Deshaun Watson. Yeah, they didn't win a lot of games, but you got to look at his numbers. Like the dude threw for like 17 touchdowns and only like 4 picks, and threw for damn near, I think it was like 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards in 6 games or whatever it was, and he produced. Now, if you want to talk about, hey, we may be able to get another great linebacker because we have the 23rd pick and the what I think they got 2 first-round picks.
Who, the Jets?
I think so.
No, just one. They got the 13th pick right now. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that they want to get another great defensive guy or another receiver. They can do that and get Brissett. And Brissett did pretty good with Cleveland, and go with that because look at Geno Smith.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Geno Smith, all he needed was the opportunity to get put on a better team, and a dude broke all of Russell Wilson's records.
What records he break?
All of them.
Russell Wilson's records?
Yes, single season.
Oh, single season.
Touchdown.
Okay, that's not all the records. I was saying. I mean,
he said, which one?
Yeah, single season. My bad, single season.
You gotta clarify.
Yeah.
I feel you. Okay. What's the next team? We said Saints.
Oh, Saints.
Saints.
I got Derek Carr.
Derek Carr too.
Derek Carr, my boy.
That'd be tough. I can see that.
I see.
Falcons winning the NFC South.
That's cool. Let me see. What's the next team? Who else?
Atlanta.
Oh, here we. Fine, we'll go ahead. Atlanta.
Thank you. There's no way you can say the Saints and not the Falcons.
I got you. Atlanta. Who's gonna be there?
Rise up, baby.
What's up, boy? Desmond Ridder.
All right, so I'm 50-50. More like 60-40. 60% Desmond Ridder because I feel like we got a lot of cap space and I feel like we can utilize that. And elsewhere, like Jesse Bates III, I think I'm 100% sure he's going to be a Falcon. I also think that if we can get Deron Payne, that would be great too. So just affording those big name players, I think that'll be like beneficial versus getting Lamar Jackson, and then we can probably just get one other player and that's it. Like we're not Lamar. Hell yeah, you're gonna sell some tickets, but in all actuality, like
longevity wise, you won't have anything.
Yeah, you won't have anything. So it's like Desmond Ridder would give him a full year. He did great in the last 4 games. He did. He didn't throw no picks.
I ain't say anything.
Oh, yeah, looking at your face.
I was saying he did great.
But like, but he, you know what I'm saying? Give him a chance. Like, we drafted him in the 3rd round. That's not a bad round to draft a quarterback. Clearly, we need somebody else in the room. I like Jared Hall from BYU in the later rounds this year to kind of just push Desmond Ridder. But I want to go with Desmond Ridder, but Lamar Jackson, I ain't complaining either. Like, I just,
I would say you're not complaining until about year 2.
Yeah.
Because year 2, when that cap space hit, then it's gonna be like, okay, we got to start getting rid of some guys.
Back where we left off with Matt Ryan, Julio, Deion Jones, and then we restructured Jake Matthews and Grady Jarrett. Like, we kept them 2, and then
Ridley.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about your team. I just brought up some information here on my screen. Look at Desmond Ridder's NFL stats. I'm gonna just go through it real quick. December 18th.
Oh,
is it yours or okay?
you just gotta get off his.
I mean, I ain't on it. I ain't on it. I'm just saying. Anyway, so December 18th against the Saints, division rival. 97 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Tyler Algier. He ran the ball.
Let's talk about Desmond. We go, December 24th against the Ravens. 218 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay. Cardinals. Kyler Murray list. He had 169 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And then finally against the Buccaneers, a team that kind of barely got in.
We beat him. Beat Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's 88. But anyway, so he had 2 touchdowns, 224 yards passing, no interceptions. So I mean, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in 4 games is great. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's what your standard of greatness is. So again, I have to ask you, would you take Lamar? Yes or no?
No, I don't want to.
I have a question. Who was
for the cap
wide
space reasons?
I wouldn't.
For the cap space reasons.
I don't think Lamar's that quarterback, but go ahead.
Because he's not a passer.
That's one reason, but go ahead.
But yeah.
Who's wide receiver number 1 for the Falcons right now?
Drake
London, rookie.
So
who's target number 1? Kyle Pitts. Who's wide receiver number 1? Drake London.
Okay, so I'm not too familiar with. I don't watch the Falcons like that.
I can help,
but
don't worry
I'm
about
not too familiar with Drake London, and I know Kyle Pitts is a dog. But then isn't Ridley coming back next year too?
Nope, he plays for the Jaguars.
But for the Jaguars, okay. I was gonna say because if Ridley was coming back, like that would kind of be some solid targets if Lamar got in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
We got enough money, bro. We can get a vet in there. We can get 2 vets with the cap space we got. We're second.
I need to go out to OBJ.
Think about what we were just talking about though.
We talked about that.
Who
Getting
gonna throw the ball?
OBJ. He said, "Who's gonna throw the ball?"
But you gotta
see that 0 touchdown. I mean,
bro.
I'm thinking, bro. This is what I'm thinking.
It's
Like,
a good thing that he has 0 picks too. It would be bad if it's 0 and 2,
2,
0
1.
and 3.
we
Like,
can, y'all can get a vet, but I'm thinking about. I'm gonna revert back to what we was talking about earlier. How the game is changing. Like, okay, now going forward, the quarterbacks are going to be mobile quarterbacks. You got Jalen Hurts and Pat Mahomes. I was playing like Pat Mahomes is becoming the prototype of what every quarterback is wanting to be and what other teams are wanting their quarterback to look like. So when you say we need to go get us a veteran, and when I think of the Falcons, like I'm thinking Mike Vick era. They were so successful when they had a quarterback that can throw the ball because he could throw the ball and he could run that hoe too. So it's like
Lamar's a better passer than Vic, and Vic is my favorite player of all.
So with that being said, it's like Lamar still young, you know what I'm saying? And I just think I feel like we're all alpha males in here, but at the same time, like growing up as a younger brother, I had to learn to be that beta and be that follower, like follow the lead at certain times. So when I'm on a team,
there's no time.
When I'm on a team, chill out. When I'm on a team, I think more so from a team aspect. It's like, okay, I know I'm a big time quarterback or running back. Let's just say Lamar. I'm Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I go in there and be like, okay, big time quarterback. Do I want to get on this team that's going to be mediocre, but my pockets is going to be sitting heavy, or would I like to take a little bit less money? That way I can free up some space to get the targets and the assets on the team that I need for us all to be successful. That way more money can come in down the road. Because you're going to get them playoffs and a Super Bowl bonuses if they end up going there, stuff like that. And then once you get to that point to where your team is built up, that's when you can be like, yo, I'm going to need a little bit more of that bread. And I feel like if you just having a team mindset, it's like you got those endorsement deals on the outside. It's like, yo, NFL check don't got to be the only thing that's going to be jump. I feel like everybody nowadays, we just got business mindsets. You want multiple sources of income. So I feel like from his perspective, if I was him, I'd be like, okay. Because he's getting, what, $230 from Baltimore? That's what he wants right now?
That's what he denied.
Oh, he did not because it was $133 million guaranteed.
Okay, so.
It was $200 guaranteed.
Oh, shit.
So, like, even with that, bro, it's like, if I'm trying to get in a situation to where I'm going to be.
Trying to reset the market.
Do I want to be a football player on a football team making great money? Or do I want to be a great player on a great team and furthering my legacy and my resume and whatnot. And sometimes you got to put your pride aside and be like, bro, I'll take a little pay cut. That way I can end up putting myself in a great position. But that's not something he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Which
He's seen Patrick Mahomes sign that $500 million.
But Pat signed that $500 million with all them people on his team. Like, he's like, I'm signing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got this question. First, you don't have to worry about the Falcons getting Super Bowl checks because they're not going. 1, 2.
Okay.
Let me ask the quarterback.
Desmond Ridder said it when he got drafted. I'm gonna get Atlanta a Super Bowl. Sometimes things just come.
On Madden, sure.
2035 champions.
When you play on Madden, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna ask you a question as a quarterback. Tommy, like, real quick question. Like, there is a difference between. Because I think all quarterbacks can throw the ball, but there's a difference between like throwing the ball and like throwing it where it needs to go. Correct. All right. So again, with Lamar, you know what I'm saying. Like, all world athlete. Like, he's faster than 90% of the running backs and the receivers in the league. Great. Ticket with sales will go out the roof. Atlanta, popping city, a lot of urban culture. Great. But I need him to pass the ball. Let me ask you a question, real quick question.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you 2 names. Just tell me which one's better. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Who do you think is a better quarterback?
Realistically?
Yeah.
Lamar.
Can you tell me why? I just want to know. I mean, I imagine. I don't know. What's your reasoning?
Because Lamar knows how to win
Win what?
games.
Okay.
He like Herbert. He runs a little bit, but Herbert's known for what?
He's a passer of all.
No. What is he known for?
I don't know.
He's known for a strong arm, the deep pass.
Yeah, I mean, he could throw all the throws on the field.
Yeah,
Okay.
At times. At times he had games where he went, 22 for 34, 300 something yards, 3 touchdowns. But there's always been times where he struggled bad.
Just pull it up real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we had this argument at work. We walked through the halls asking everybody, "Hey, who's better, Lamar Jackson, or Justin Herbert?" I said Lamar Jackson
taking
too.
Lamar.
This kind of goes back to the Jordan and LeBron conversation
LeBron.
was happening.
So I'm gonna just go. I'm not even gonna say. I'm gonna just say his passing yards. So first game 279, then 334, 297, 340, 228, 238, 293, 245, 196, lowest of the season. 280, 274, 335, 367, 313, 235, 212, 273, 273 again. So one game this year he had less than 200 yards passing. 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
How many games?
Targets.
That's a great season for other quarterbacks.
I can't see the screen, so it's like
I told you, it turns.
okay.
Like, who did Lamar have?
That's a great season for most quarterbacks. 25 and 10.
But who did Lamar have?
He went against
How
the
many
Raiders.
games did LeBron play?
Click
Not
on that
LeBron,
December.
Lamar.
He can't help his division. We can't say it because it's still NFL players.
No, I'm saying like, did he
Go ahead.
win? Did they win those games?
They
Like
went to
you
the
can
playoffs.
have
They went to
great
the playoffs.
numbers.
They go to the playoffs.
They did,
Yep.
but Lamar was hurt.
He went to the playoffs. Disney went to the playoffs too.
Even though he was hurt, that's my point.
Their division is trash. I mean, he has literally one other team to worry about.
Who?
The Bengals.
And the Bengals not good.
I said he has one other team to worry about. That's what I'm saying. Like he's not.
He
like
missed the final 4 games. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not in a division where he has to like really worry. The Steelers are rebuilding and the Browns.
But it's the NFL though.
You right? I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying like I got you. I'm just saying like so you saying Lamar Jackson's better?
Yes.
I think there's like a bias to your style of quarterback play.
No,
I'm saying,
not at
I-
all.
Here we go.
Because
When-
Justin Herbert
when
played for
everybody
who?
everybody
No,
disagree.
Justin Herbert
Look.
played for who?
Oregon
And he was known for what? Running.
running style. Yeah.
Okay, so with both of those guys coming out of college, they're known for not just their arm, but their feet.
Yeah.
And they were like, I wonder if they can, like you said, throw. Justin Herbert wasn't known to be a guy that sits back there and just does this. He was known for jet sweeps with his guys, doing play actions, running the ball, throwing a deep pass, all of that. The same thing Lamar was doing. Lamar went toe for toe with Deshaun Watson. Had like 4 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. And they lost by a touchdown. And I think they went to overtime that game.
Shout out my boy Jameson. He was at that game. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's dope. So we're gonna name some quarterbacks who are rookies coming out. Oh, my fault. Damn. Top 5 rookies. Shout out about like
Dropping
top
the
5.
bombs.
Top 5. Top 4 quarterbacks coming out in the draft, and then the little surprise one. As a quarterback, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna call you the quarterback guru tonight for sure. You know what I'm saying. You are definitely, you know what I'm saying, him. Bryce Young. What is your assessment of Bryce Young, Alabama quarterback?
He's the best quarterback coming out of that class.
Do you agree with the he's a poor man's Pat Mahomes?
No. To me, honestly, the dude's dealt with a lot, but he's a dog when it comes to just
Clutch.
how he just can win games. And a lot of quarterbacks, you see them tuck their tail when it like he's probably had one of the, and this is no offense to like Alabama at all, but he's probably had one of the worst teams that Alabama's had in a while, and he still found ways to win games. Yeah, he lost some games to overtime, like the LSU game where they went for 2. He can't control that.
Right.
He did what he's supposed to do. He went down there and scored. They went down there and scored too, but they went for 2.
Tennessee.
Game over. Tennessee, same thing.
I feel that. Y'all want to add anything with Bryce? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think he'll have success in the NFL? You know, he's been deemed undersized. It's been deemed they looking for him to weigh 194 by next week, I believe. You know, they got all these expectations for him. How do you think his success will run in the NFL?
I think it'd be the same way they looked at Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Oh, he's too little.
Yeah.
The dude's 160 pounds with a wet shirt on.
Yeah.
And then he goes out there and he's just dogging people.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
How big is Bryce Young compared in comparison to Tua? Because Tua is small.
That's a good
I think
one.
Tua like an inch or two taller than him.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
Bryce
saying?
Young is literally like 5'11", 6 feet. Like he's lower to the ground. So
I feel like if Tua's out there, I mean, granted, he's been dealing with them head injuries and whatnot, but if he's out there holding his own on the field and whatnot, like I feel like Bryce Young is better than Tua.
You think Tua's done? I don't think he's done. I think they have to get some.
They were
protection.
saying I was looking at NFL Live yesterday. They were like, what if Lamar goes to Miami,
That's what I
go
was
back
saying, too.
home?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
That'd be crazy.
I think Lamar going to Miami or the Saints would be amazing.
Oh, the
Don't
Saints
say
would
that.
go crazy.
Oh, don't say that.
That'd be amazing.
Oh my God.
Like he fits Atlanta's culture too. But I
Yeah,
think,
you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't want him. You don't want him. Though. You don't want him. You don't want him.
I said if we can get him, I ain't tripping.
No, he
but
said I don't want him for long
realistically-
term cap space.
Our
No
biggest
cap.
concern is we got to get rid of Taysom Hill, bro.
Who's your? Are you a Saints fan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the dumbest contract in NFL history.
Man. It's $90 million, 5 years, $90 million.
Man, that was that
And it's
Madden
voidable after
franchise
year 3.
contract.
Dang.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At that same time. Dang.
That's that Madden franchise, you know what I'm saying, contract. Next quarterback we want to bring up is the second rated quarterback in the thing, CJ Stroud. What's your assessment of him?
I've seen him play.
And also, do you think he's better than Bryce?
No.
Okay.
I think he reminds me a lot of, and this is not trying to, how can I word it without? He reminds me a lot of Tua, where he like in college, like Tua at Alabama, the dude could make some passes. You'd be like, holy cow! He goes out there, throws for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, because he has the dogs around him. But there's been times like you see with CJ is when he got dogs on the other side of the field, he struggles here and there, but he makes some passes. He's still consistent at times, but I would say he reminds me a lot of him where I think his game's going to translate to the NFL the same way, where he's going to have some good times, but he's also going to have some times where he struggles. I can see him going somewhere like the Jets, to be honest.
That's what I was thinking at pick 13.
Yeah,
If they
suck for
don't
him.
want to go, if they don't get a quarterback in this,
Yeah.
free agency period, whatever, they'll go for him. My question: do you think that depending on where you're drafted shows has something to deal with your success? Like for instance, like we were talking about offset. We were talking about like what if the coach scoot up to the first round, first pick to get Bryce Young, right? Cool. I feel like that's a better scenario than if Houston would have got him or if the Raiders would have got Bryce Young. Like, with C.J. Stroud comparing like the transition from college to the NFL, do you think that C.J. Stroud would be someone where it's like it depends on where where he goes is where his success lies? Like, like for
Yeah.
instance, if he go to the Jets, he got Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how the NFL is now pairing up with the college receiver and the quarterback. Like you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Waddle, and Tua, like stuff like that. Do you think that could probably be a possibility for his success? That would be something that could happen for him. Because what if the Saints, made a Houdini ass trade and
Because he got a lot of Ohio State Buckeyes over there.
Yeah. Like just thinking like that. Like, so do you think where you get drafted as a quarterback determines if you'll be successful, or does it increase or decrease your successful rate?
I don't think so, because if you look at it this way, dude from the 49ers that was the last pick of the draft shows
Brock
up
Purdy.
and
Shout out Brock.
Iowa State
Yeah.
just puts him on the map and just says, look, I'm just out here having fun. This is what I usually do. I was on practice squad, got called up, my number got called, and I was ready to play. But to say some dudes do it this way, like Green Bay, they knew that Love was going to be their guy eventually, because they knew that the Aaron Rodgers dramatic stuff that was going on was going to eventually come to an end. I can see with all of the quarterbacks, it could be put in a situation like, okay, we got a veteran guy that we may get. So say, for instance, the Jets may say, we may get CJ. But we can also use our leverage to get Aaron Rodgers for maybe a year or two. CJ learns under his wing, hits the ground ready to go.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing for CJ personally. I remember like a year ago, I saw this interview with CJ. It might have been this year during college football season, honestly. But he was saying like two of his closest friends were Bryce Young and DJ. Went from Clemson to Oregon State. And I was looking at the 2020 class when he came out. That quarterback class was crazy. Bryce Young, DJ, CJ Stroud, Hudson Card, now at Purdue. Jaquindon Jackson, who signed with Texas, now he's running back at Utah. They had some good quarterbacks in that class. And I think CJ, to me, like I was saying, I think CJ, he is going to be the best version. For one, he does not need to go to the Jets. I said this all the time. Like, I think personally, the quarterback position is the most important position in all sports, the most scrutinized and everything else. I think certain players are not made for that stage. New York, the biggest market in all sports, like, I don't think CJ would flourish there. I think Bryce can flourish anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way I feel like with Dak Prescott. I don't think I think the star on his helmet is too big a stage for Dak Prescott to be successful. He'll probably be great somewhere else, but not in Dallas. So I think CJ Stroud, like, I think he'll be good. I don't know if Raiders is necessarily the team I think he should go to or where he would be, but I definitely hope for his sake he does not go to Detroit or the Jets, for sure. That's my thought.
Yeah, the reason I even asked that question is like just thinking about Cleveland, Detroit, the Jets, Jacksonville broke that curse with Trevor Lawrence. They broke that. But like certain franchises, it's like when they draft quarterbacks in the first round, like just think about the Browns, Brady Quinn, Tim Couch,
Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. They just don't have a success rate when they draft a quarterback. They do better when they get someone in the free agency. And I feel like the Jets is similar that way. Like, I don't want them to go get a quarterback, you know what I'm saying, this year, because every couple of years they're doing it. Now Sam Darnold, now Zach Wilson, now you ready for another one? It'll be the same thing in the next 2 years. We'll be saying, oh, he can't deliver. Even though he got all these weapons and blah, 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 he can't deliver. I just feel like like you said, the stage is too big, but I feel like when certain franchises draft a quarterback, they're not successful.
That's why you have to go with a veteran guy first, and then later into that second, third round, you get you another quarterback that can be under his wing for about a year or so. That's why I think they're going to try to go after a veteran guy. Like I said before, I can see like a Brissett going there, starting that quarterback, doing pretty well, decent enough to win them, get over 500, and then all of a sudden he gets to that point to where it's like, okay, it's time for me to, hit the highway. It's time for me to retire. Now you bring in that guy that you didn't had there for a year and a half, and boom, now he knows the offense. He's been running it. He knows everything. He's just not thrown in the fire. You coming from college to straight to NFL, and now you got to learn the offense and be ready right away. Like some guys, like you said, Bryce Young could do that.
Today.
CJ, probably not.
Right.
Because the thing about it is with Bryce Young, he's went from being under center to shotgun, spread offense, I formation, pro style. Then you got CJ, strictly spread. Just 5 wide, 4 wide, just launching the ball. And a lot of times that works, but NFL ain't gonna work like that. it's a game. It's a game of chess, not checkers.
You think Will Levis is ready?
Yeah, I'm about to get him next right now. Yep, Will Levis.
Before you say that, think about Bryce Young. Like, I feel like he'll be ready better than or more than CJ will, because you got to think, bro. Like, I love Alabama. That's been my college since I was young.
Dog. Alabama and the Patriots.
But hey, man, watch out. Hey, what'd you do earlier?
Crazy,
Hey,
yo.
watch out. But nah, like when you think about it, that's the closest thing to damn playing for an NFL team.
Yeah.
Like before you end up getting to the NFL, being under Nick Saban and stuff like that, like he's gonna mold all his players to be prepared to get thrown into the fire and get to that level of playing at the NFL, being in those stressful environments and whatnot, because that's the type of standard they hold it to. You know what I'm saying? I had a homeboy I went to Steele with, 4-star recruit, he's a defensive end. He had told us he had went on a visit to Alabama, and this goes to the mindset with certain people. Like, certain people are, I'm here to play ball. Like, I'm trying to get to the league and whatnot. Then some people want to go play ball, but they really want to have a good college lifestyle. And even, like, Leonard Fournette has said it too. He's like, bro, there's nothing to do in Alabama. Like, when you go up there, it's literally you're there to play ball, you go to class, and that's all you focus on. Like, you have to live, sleep, eat, breathe football when you up there. So when you up there, you especially for 4 or 5 years, bro, like, that's all you know. You're gonna be ready for it. So I feel like Bryce is gonna be very successful no matter where he goes. He's gonna be able to mold himself, be a little shapeshifter, whatever team he goes to and whatnot. He's gonna be good.
Now, just talking about this, I feel like there's a chance that this draft may shake up to a point where certain quarterbacks might fall, depending with the heavy edge rush class. Like Luke Van Ness, if I'm saying that right. Like, he started scooting up. You know what I'm saying? When we were doing our mock drafts last month, he was in the second, third round. And now, like, you start seeing certain players creep up. But there's, like, at least 6 edge rushers that's going to go in the first round. And I feel like at least 3 of them go in that top 10. Tyree Wilson, Miles Murphy, Will Anderson.
Brees.
Yeah.
Brian Brees.
Brian Brees may scoot out a little bit, after top 10. Maybe even a little bit after the first round. Jalen Carter, top 5 pick. So it's like I can see, like, because the quarterback needy teams, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the way Atlanta's been drafting, they may do some crazy shit and may just draft a quarterback just to push Desmond Ridder. But I think that's just I want to go offensive lineman or whatever. But Bryce Young, clearly number 1. If he ain't number 1, he number 2. Will Anderson goes number 1 if Chicago can't come up with a deal. Like, Will Anderson Jr., first person on the board, best player in the draft, second to Bryce Young.
In reference to Will Levis, you know what I'm saying? I would just say, so to me, he reminds me of, like, how, remember that hype we had behind Trubisky when he came out? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was the big, swole, like, you know what I'm saying? He was just, there was a lot of hype behind Trubisky, you know what I'm saying? A big, swole, athletic quarterback, North Carolina. The Bears went and got him, you know what I'm saying? Above Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, like, crazy to think about it now. But, the time, like, he was hot, they went with what they went with, and they drafted him. That's what Will Levis reminds me of, like somebody who's just hot, athletic build. He has like a Tebow type body. You know what I'm saying? He was, in college, like, but I also think, like, and you know more about this than all of us, Tommy. Like, he played at Kentucky. They weren't necessarily, like, killing it in the SEC like that. But, like, he still played in that conference. You know what I'm saying? He was well respected in the conference. But he wasn't, like, mentioned for, he didn't play in the playoff. He wasn't, up for the Heisman. He wasn't, in the national championship ranking at any point in the season. So I'm really kind of, like, I've always been kind of lost. We actually had a bet with him. We have an ongoing bet right now. He said,
I already paid you, man. Relax. I figured it out.
You paid me already?
Yeah, I paid you.
Well, I'm going to tell you the bet anyway. So the bet was, he said, beginning of the season, he's like, Will Levis will be the first quarterback drafted. I said, no, he won't. It'll be Bryce Young. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, no one. I said, well, it definitely won't be Will Levis. So he gave my $20. It's cool. But anyway, I mean, I just don't think that I'm really confused. Like, why but everybody, Mayock, Kuiper, they all, like, really, Kuiper's super, super high on Levis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what as a quarterback, more. What is it about him that we're missing? Or that I'm missing?
I think he fits in that category, like you just said, with Trubisky, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, where they didn't really do much, but they played in, like, the SEC, where, they may not have the best team, but we can see the potential from them. And that is where some teams, they take that bait. I don't know why, but, like, with those dudes, they haven't really done much. Mac Jones, I've actually talked with my buddy Chris about this all the time. I told him that I really feel like Zappy is better than Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That
He went crazy against UTSA last year.
he broke all of
Western Kentucky, right?
yeah, he broke all of Joe Burrow's records.
Yeah, Stearns broke
Crazy
all of
work.
it.
Yeah, like, bro, it's crazy. He threw for like almost 6,000 yards in 1 year. And he broke all the records, had like 60-some touchdowns, only threw like 9 picks.
Does conference matter to you in that situation?
No. If a dude can throw and you see it on film, he played against Michigan State. And Michigan State was 11 in the state, and he threw for 6 touchdowns and 450 yards on them. He didn't have the best team. They lost by 17 points, but he still threw for like 6 touchdowns and almost 500 yards on them. That just shows you this dude actually looking at the defense, reading defense. It ain't about, okay, where are you going against this conference? It's iffy. Now you got dudes that go against the SEC. You put Zappy in their spot, guarantee that team's a lot better.
Well, I think personally, like with Mac Jones, so I mean, first of all, his last name is really dope. You know what I'm saying? I would say that. But with Mac Jones, I'll just say that, you know what I'm saying, personally, like I've always said, like, it's kind of like how he was saying earlier with Lamar Jackson or Desmond Ridder, any quarterback, really. You know what I'm saying? You know this firsthand as a quarterback. Like, for one, as a good coach, I think you would want to make the team adaptive to what that style quarterback is, one. But also, like, you have to get a quarterback weapons. Like, I feel like, you know, Mac Jones, like, you know, Zappy, whoever is back there in New England, they don't have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really have, like, you know, not everybody's Tom Brady who can make everybody look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, this is the NFL, you have to have some weapons out there for him to throw the ball to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think they've done that. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for, you know, anybody to be successful in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the other hand, like, for example, I'm a big Cowboy fan. I've always said this. Dak Prescott has never, since he came into the league, he's never had a bad team. He's always had weapons. Always. Running back, receivers, great line. Like, he's never had like a, ooh, there's a flaw here. Like, no. He's always had a great team. His rookie year he went 13-3. He's always had a great team, but he doesn't get it done. That's different from saying, like, okay, well, this quarterback's not getting it done, but you don't have no weapons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, like Mac Jones is basically throwing to a bunch of us and Jacoby Myers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have no weapons. So I think it's hard to like, you know, I guess assess what he can be or any quarterback over there in that organization because they don't have nobody to throw the ball to.
But it also comes down to coaching. It's just not weapons, it's coaching. Like, my prime example, like I said earlier, Geno Smith. Geno Smith was at the Jets, and he had some weapons, but the coaching was terrible.
But the culture is also terrible. We did establish no quarterback success over there.
Yeah, but here, get rid of the coaches then. Like, get rid of the coaches and bring in some dudes that know what they're talking about. He goes to the Seahawks where their coaches know how to cater around their quarterback. Not only put him in a good position, but not put too much on his shoulders to where he has to win the game. Now, with other guys, like you said, Tom Brady, for instance, we can't forget that when Tom Brady was with New England, when everybody started doing this, he started struggling. Then he got up out of there because he already knew, I'm not winning with what we got now. So his defense was the best in the league, top 2 in the league. Every time he won those years, they were dogs. Like, they were probably the number 1 defense in the NFL every year he won a Super Bowl. They were some dogs. But then on top of that, when he goes to Tampa Bay, what do? They get a whole new O-line. Jameis Winston was there. Jameis Winston couldn't win with what he had. He ain't had no O-line. The run game was terrible. They went in and got Fournette. They went in and got White. They went and got all these players.
Gronk came back.
Bro, like, you can't tell me he went to Tampa and didn't construct that whole offense and some defensive guys, like, drafted Devin White, had Levante David, had Sue, had JPP. They had all these dudes.
Yeah, Antoine Winfield, all that. I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying, again, like, that's even with that example you gave, like, Tom Brady had all these French fries hot out the grease. You know what I'm saying? And Mac Jones got old fries in their heated lamp. They've been sitting there since 12 noon. And it's, you know what I'm saying, 9:02. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. The difference is, like, this is like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can be successful under that. You know what I'm saying?
But before Tom Brady was Tom Brady, he did that, though.
What do you mean?
Without a team. Without receivers.
But as I said, Tom Brady's like a creative player. He make everybody good. He made Wes Walker.
But what I'm saying is that the same situation we're talking about with Mac Jones is the same situation we're talking about with Tom Brady. But that's before Tom Brady was actually Tom Brady. when Tom Brady was in Mac Jones' shoes the first year he was sitting behind
Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, they didn't know who he was. He came in, made some throws here and there, had a decent season.
Won a Super Bowl.
But then all of a sudden, he never ccame out.
Yeah, he won a championship. Same thing with Tua. I ain't taking him out. He just won. I mean, sorry, Jason, you gotta go. Go to Oklahoma. I mean, I hear your point. You know what I'm saying, anything I want to add on Will Levis?
Nah, I mean, I just said expect.
And you lost
a couple,
money.
a couple quarterbacks. Yeah, expect a couple quarterbacks to fall. In the draft.
This last one right here, Anthony Richardson. This is like definitely when we hear about potential all the time. They said he has like what I think I heard, he has the best arm in the draft. You know what I'm saying? He's raw. I be seeing videos every single day, him throwing the ball. Like a lot of teams are like, you know what I'm saying, drooling at the mouth over that possibility of having him at their organization. A couple teams I think I heard about was Panthers, Jets is another one. But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on him?
He reminds me of who was I just had a brain fart. The quarterback from, was it North Carolina, like 2 years ago?
North Carolina.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't North Carolina. Black quarterback 2 years ago from. It was a red and white team. Yikes.
Ohio State.
No, it was it was from Liberty. There it is.
Oh, Malik
yeah,
Willis.
yeah.
That's
who it
it.
reminds me
Malik
of.
Willis.
Yeah, that's who it reminds me of. Like, they see the potential, strong arm, can make some throws, but I fit him in that category with him, where it's like you can see that he's raw right now. Like, where if he gets with the right guy, like if he be from Kansas City, ends up taking a job somewhere and picking him up, maybe he can develop him into what he need him to be. But
From Bieniemy? Well, he left already in Washington. He went, right? Yeah, he went to Washington Commanders already.
So then if he picks him up at Washington and say, look, we want to see what you got, he may make him into something.
Sit behind Wentz.
Yeah. Nah, I'm sit behind Wentz.
Got to.
No.
Half a season. Got to.
No.
All that money, I'm big on that. If I'm paying you all this dollars, you gonna play.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Come on, get your warmer. You know what I'm saying? Come out here. I'll say this too. I think the Titans. You know what I'm saying, the Titans are another franchise that, like when they had Vince Young, like something about that organization, they don't know how to since McNair, they don't really know how to be successful with a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like Willis, you know what I'm saying? Like he looked horrible when he played this year. Tannehill looked decent, but he's probably the first thing in a very long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Vince Young should have been great. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they didn't handle him right. I think if he go there, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Potential gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that team is just not.
I just
built.
think the Titans, they got Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Sometimes they line up in 23 personnel and they just say stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect to do that
6'3",
the whole
245.
game. Yeah, but you can't expect to do it the whole game. Now you look up and there's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And you down 17 points. Oh, now we got
Because the quarterback has to do what?
throw the ball. But you handed the ball off 50 times a game. Now all of a sudden you got to throw the ball. Defense is just sitting here waiting. Now you got to throw it.
Yeah.
But if you can get you a back that can basically be a scat back out of the backfield and take Derrick Henry out sometimes and let him, run some routes out of the backfield, you'll open all that up and you'll be able to be 50-50. But Derrick Henry, he's taking too many hits. And I think he's starting to understand it. Like, bro, I can't be running the ball 35 times a game and y'all think we're going to win.
Last quarterback I'm going to ask you about, my guy, Stetson Bennett, the fourth. What's your thoughts on him?
Honestly?
Yeah.
He reminds me of Baker.
You don't think Baker's good?
No.
Wow.
Damn.
Straight like that.
You got a button to press for that one?
Damn. Which one? The damn one? I
We
did
gotta
one
get
here.
that Kevin Hart in there. Damn.
Fight.
All right.
I think that his attitude, the way he
Stetson or Baker?
both.
Wow.
I'm just talking about both. The way they carry themselves, and I'm truthful when it comes to stuff. Like I see how he carries himself, not only on the field but off the field. Just it reminds me of the Baker tendencies where, yeah, you're good. You're also 27, 26,
25.
No, 26.
25.
You sure?
I'll look it up. Go
Look
ahead.
him up.
Okay. Got you.
26.
Got you. No problem. Go ahead. Continue.
He's also 26 years old playing with 21-year-olds. But how old?
25. His birthday's October 28th. He'll be 26 then. But go ahead.
1990 what?
7.
7?
Yeah, it's right here. It says 25 years old, October 20th, 1997.
I don't believe that.
Go ahead.
Bro. Let me do the math.
I got you. Go ahead.
825. Okay, you got me on that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey,
Go ahead.
but honestly, man, it's more like, think about it.
I mean, what did Baker do off the field that was bad? Off the field.
It's just his attitude. It's how he carries himself.
You mean like his work ethic?
Mhm.
Okay.
Like with Stinson, it's more of, yeah, you're good. You know, they got the same backstory.
Yeah.
Walk on, play somewhere, won big games. That one's not gonna. One's a Heisman Trophy winner. One's not. One's a national champion, a 2-time national champion. It kind of balances out. And then when they get to the league, they're gonna go somewhere that. And I don't think Stinson Bennett's gonna be a first-round draft pick.
No.
I think he's probably gonna get picked up 3rd or 4th, and he's probably gonna go somewhere where they're already gonna have a quarterback on their way out.
Can you imagine if he went to Seattle with
Geno?
With what's his name? Carroll? It's like Russell Wilson all over again.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Good
one. I like
I'm
that.
rooting for you, Stet. Hey, Stetson. You know what I'm saying? I'm just rooting for him.
But that's how I feel about him. I just don't like the fact that dudes get the opportunity placed in their hands and they drop the ball. Like, it's people that would die for opportunity that you have, but you get in trouble off the field knowing that you have basically so much potential, definitely when it comes to NFL. Like, people would die to be in your position, but you take advantage of it. Now all of a sudden you went from being a first-round draft pick to 3rd, 4th because you don't know how to act.
Mm-hmm.
Ask about your boy you like, Hendon Hooker, right?
Hendon Hooker, yeah. What do you think about
What
him?
do you think about him?
I think he can creep in the 2nd round.
You can be honest. Cause
He came out this year?
He's
Yeah.
coming out this year, yeah.
Oh, no.
broken leg.
You don't think he got a chance?
He'd be 6, 7 round.
Dobbs all over again.
Shit.
Dobbs all over again.
Yeah, he'd be 6, 7 round.
Crazy. I like your honesty, bro.
6, 7 rounds? Why,
Hey,
why,
man.
just because of his injury, or
Nah.
he hasn't improved enough?
He got worse throughout the
He's
season.
that guy, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
His name is
they
Hendon.
went no huddle. they
So-
rapid fire,
So
and
you
then
know
all of
how-
a sudden some people started knowing how to
And his
play
name
him.
is Hendon.
And the quarterback after looked good too. I don't remember his name. Number 7 for Tennessee that replaced him after he got hurt. He helped kind of carried him through the season.
I forgot his name. I know exactly who you're talking about.
But yeah, no, I was just thinking like with Hendon Hooker, like I feel like the way some of these scouts and the way they look at that tape that everybody was wild about, and then he might have a great pro day. And
No,
a
what
great
I'm
combine.
saying is, bro, you gotta look at his tape. On his tape, he's doing play action. He's throwing deep balls.
Yeah.
Post. Go.
Oh, Milton. Joe
Post.
Milton the third. Joe Milton.
Yeah, Joe Milton.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
look good. Yeah.
He's throwing posts, goals, because they lining up so quick that
Yeah.
slants, hitches,
Yeah.
just now routes.
Yeah.
4 or 5 yard routes, and then when they bite up, throwing over the top.
Mm.
You can't do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's getting jumped.
Yeah. Pick.
Pick, gone. See you.
Yeah.
Next. And you're not running your offense that fast.
Dang. So you
Yeah,
say
no.
6, 7 round, right?
Yeah.
I'm do a little bit more of my homework.
Now I can see him maybe going to a place like Atlanta late, and him and Ritter fighting it out.
Looks like anybody over there. You know what I'm saying? They need to. You know what I'm saying? Struggling over there. And I'll actually call San Francisco and get Jimmy G or Lance or somebody.
Yeah.
Because it's damn.
You got Trey Lance.
Well, what happened then?
I
Huh?
don't know.
Bring the ring
we-
thing?
You know how
Ring
good the
up.
49ers offense was, and Trey Lance still couldn't do nothing?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's bad.
I need a backup.
You had a dude that was the last pick in the draft go and do better than a first round draft pick.
So what do you think? Where do you think his career going? Not to
Trey Lance?
No, that's cool.
Yeah. Where do you think he's heading?
That's a good question. I like that. He's probably going home to play Madden, but go ahead.
Like, no, just think, like, realistically, like, Kyle
They'll
Shanahan.
keep him for another year,
Okay.
and then they're probably going to end up looking to release him, and somebody's just going to probably pick him up.
I'm just thinking
Next year's his third year,
You
right?
gave up so much.
Yeah.
You gave up so much for him.
But
You know, it didn't.
that's
it
what
didn't-
happens.
Yeah.
It's a gambling game in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hit and miss. Sometimes
I feel like
It's-
them
it's
North
either-
Dakota,
it's
them
either-
North Dakota State quarterbacks, 0 for 2.
I want to ask you.
Besides
Oh,
Wentz in that
da, da,
Super
da,
Bowl
da, da.
season, besides Wentz heading to the Super Bowl, he got them to the Super Bowl. But I'm like, as far as like their career wise, like they bouncing.
yeah. But one's a Super Bowl champion.
That's true.
I don't know why they picked him first round. That's why I say like
You want to pick who?
Trey Lance.
Oh, Trey Lance.
It doesn't matter. Carson Wentz.
I say Carson Wentz was that guy.
Oh yeah, he was. He was that guy.
Before he got hurt.
He was right down the road from me, 6 hours away.
Yeah.
So I already knew like he was that dude.
Yeah.
But Trey Lance, if you look at his senior year stats, terrible. And he still went first. That's what I don't understand. What were they going off of? His senior year at North Dakota State, he did terrible.
I think it's also he's like super young. Like when he like the youngest player ever drafted.
Probably
Something
still
like that.
like 19.
Yeah, like the youngest player ever drafted. Like he's super young, so I feel like he's also. I don't think his maturity is bad from what I've seen, but like mentally, like you said, the football game or NFL is definitely chess. You know what I'm saying? Like even just playing chess at home, like not everybody's capable. So he's probably still in checkers mode, like jump king me type stuff.
Yep.
Like, and so he might take him a couple more years to kind of mature. You know what I'm saying? And get.
But it may be too late.
It might be. Aaron Rodgers sat for what, 5 years behind Brett Favre? What was it? You know what I'm saying? How many years he sat behind Brett Favre? Like 3 years, something like that.
4.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I'm saying. We might not have the same Aaron Rodgers if he didn't sit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like all these great quarterbacks, they sat behind somebody.
So you think Love gonna be nice?
I don't think so.
No, he's terrible.
Terrible.
Exactly. I said that.
Damn. So it was.
My wife's a Green Bay Packers fan. She hates him. Hates him.
Oh, man.
Damn. So what if they, shocked y'all and shocked everybody and drafted a quarterback?
I wouldn't be shocked.
You
They
wouldn't.
need one.
In the
Well, they
first
trade
round.
Aaron Rodgers to one of these high teams. They don't get a quarterback because they don't have
Yeah.
the low pick.
In the first round though.
Yeah. I want to ask you a random question too. So you were in the NFL for a while. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. First, give me a player or some players when you saw them, you're like, oh shoot, that's so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now watching them on TV, like you saw them on the field warming up, whatever. Like, who's some players you saw? You're like, oh shoot, that's so and so. You know what I'm saying?
Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah, that's live.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's
He
dope.
cooked me one time. I was mad. I was playing.
I know he was a competitor for sure.
Yeah, talking noise, man. Get this rookie off me, man.
Throwing
Come
his helmet
on.
in the air and shit.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs. Anybody else?
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that was
Dalvin
the same y'all went there together, right?
Yeah. Dalvin Cook's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was in the running back room with me when I first got there because I was at running back at first. He's pretty cool. Dude, strong as all get out. Fast as heck. Knew his stuff, but most people be like, man, he probably a rude dude. He not. He's chill, sit back, and me. Just
Yeah, he
be like
seems
this.
chill, like on the, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, on the field, like
Yeah,
What about Anthony Barrs?
that dude's scary.
For real?
big, right?
Yeah,
Dang.
I seen him a few times.
Yeah.
Because he played at UCLA when Nebraska played him in 2013 and 2013 we played him
Yeah.
at home, and them dudes. It was actually him and what's his name? Starts with an H, the linebacker.
Kendricks?
Yep. Is it Hendricks or Kendricks?
I think it's Kendricks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So both of them played at UCLA. They were still together. I think Barr actually ended up going somewhere else. But those dudes, it's crazy how smart and intelligent defensive guys are, from the middle linebacker position to the DN positions. They be on the same page no matter what. I learned a lot from just all of them. So it was just more of how do you know this? Like, well, man, we don't just go over our defense. We go over offensive formations, what to look for, if it's 3-by-1, if it's 2-by-2, if it's hip. When we call this call, we know our defensive end slanting. We're going outside. We know we have the running back in this formation. They got the quarterback in this formation, and they have to do it in like 10 seconds. Same thing with a quarterback. So when they was basically explaining all that to me, I was just like, okay, now I understand where you're coming from. If it's 3-by-1, I'm at the safety position. I have the number 2 or the number 3 receiver to the number 1 receiver going inside. But if they motion a 2x2, I have the number 2 receiver. If he goes out, I'm looking for the number 2 receiver going in. And I started understanding that a lot more just talking with them, going over meetings with them. And then like a week later, I got moved to offense.
Other question I want to ask you is a real random question. I want you to tell me about. This could be high school, college, pro. Tell me a time where you got lit up. Like somebody's like, I hit you good. You was like, damn, that was a good hit. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who just tell me the story when somebody like really hit Tommy Armstrong Jr. You was like, shoot, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of.
I ain't really get hit like that in high school, but in college, my freshman year, I think I told you about this. One of my buddies, Zaire Anderson, he played for the Broncos for a while, and we finally
linebacker, safety,
linebacker. And our coach was like, he was super like against hitting the quarterbacks. But he hit me, he hit Taylor Martinez, which was the starting quarterbacks, both of us. And he had to run the whole practice. But the first time he hit me, we did a zone read. I'm going across. I go through the backside B gap. I'm running, boom. But it's not live, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I see him coming across, but it's like basically once I hit that B gap, he's coming backside. And he goes to move, but like he goes to hit me, but he moves like this, and he just hits me right here. Bam, I black out. Boom, hit the ground. I get up, and I try to stand up.
Like his helmet hit you?
Holy crap, yeah.
Damn.
And I get all woozy, and they're like, no, stay still. And I'm like, God, dog. That was the one time I got hit pretty hard. It was helmet to helmet, but it was just like, just bang, bang collision.
But he was always hitting people in practice, I'm sure. Like,
yeah. He was.
Yeah. He said, yeah, quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hit hunter.
That was the only dude that was on the defense that really hit the quarterbacks.
Yeah. My personal last question before they do their questions, but my last question to you, let's say you would have stuck in the NFL and for whatever reason, like quarterback wasn't an option. Like what's the position that you would have, would have wanted to play if you, weren't going to play quarterback in the NFL?
Safety. Yeah, I was a dog at safety.
Free,
That's
strong.
like the quarterback of
I played
defense.
I played safety at Steel. So
Okay.
I got some offers from TCU, from Oklahoma State to play safety, but I was just like, nah, I want to play quarterback.
It's crazy because y'all quarterbacks, y'all are like y'all stingy. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to just throw the ball. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I remember I was talking to Frank. He was like, yeah, like he had Baylor and all them play. I remember like Johnny Manziel, RG3. They all got offered to play safety at Texas. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like they just like, nah, I'm trying to play. You know what I'm saying? Quarterback. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's how Frank ended up at UTSA because he was like, nah, them other big schools want me to play safety. I was like. Once you get, in my mind, I'm like, once you get on campus, you can kind of like, hey, let me just go throw the ball one time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Sure,
but
it ain't that easy,
you
though.
also got to understand.
I mean, I felt that too.
For a guy that's played quarterback his whole life, that's like us, for instance. All of us drive a automatic car, and somebody say, I need you to drop my car off at the crib. You jump in there, and it's a manual.
Yeah.
I've never driven a manual before. I don't know how this works. That's the same thing with like playing DB as playing the quarterback or playing safety.
But you played safety before, though.
Yes, but it's perfection that you're looking for. Like you have to perfect your craft in order to play at a higher level. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage by going to a place like NFL and going, I'll play safety. But you got dudes that's played from when there's a legit to all the way to college, and now they got picked up to play that position. But you've been taking a 3-step drop, 5-step drop your whole life. Now they want you to do a back pedal.
I mean, there are some success stories. No Trayvon Diggs, Richard Sherman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what
But you can count on a hand. You can't say, okay, I got a big list.
It's not a
of-
regular occurrence.
So my question is, what advice would you give to the high schoolers that's coming out? Signing day just happened last week or the week before, or whatever.
First week of February.
Yeah. So what advice would you give them, the incoming seniors? What would you tell them when it comes to, hey, like they may not have that luxury like you had to say, all right, TCU wanted you at safety, Oklahoma State wanted you at safety, but Nebraska, Oregon, and Southern Miss want you at quarterback. Some kids just don't have the luxury to have all those offers. But what would you tell someone like, for instance, let's say you got a top running back, but they want him to play corner at these schools, and really he only got the offers at corner, but running back is what he perfected and what his heart desires for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you eat, sleep, and breathe quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Someone may feel that way about their position, but no one is seeing their value. would you tell them to like minimize and go like to a lower level to just continue with like what advice would you give them? Players that don't have that luxury, that got minimal offers, but it's just not for what they want to play for.
Good question, man. I like that. Damn, BioLite.
Come on, man.
Oh, man, Bio. Sorry, BioLite. Go ahead.
Honestly, I would tell them this. I would just, and a lot of people don't really understand this, but like I said before, it's a business. When it comes to college, it's either you want to get your tuition paid for or not. For me, I had the luxury of saying when I was a sophomore, I got my first offer. And it was from Rice. Then I got an offer from Oklahoma State. Rice wanted me to play quarterback. Oklahoma State wanted me to play safety. And Gundy was like, hey, I want you to come and play safety. You want to take care of your family one day? I'm going to make you one of the top safeties in the country. And I looked at him. I was like, I'm playing quarterback. And he was like, what? Last time I talked to him, told one of my good friends, Chris, I said, bro, any college reach out to you, I don't want to play anything but quarterback. If they want me to play something else, they can go somewhere else. And for me, I had the luxury of saying that. But for people that don't have that, I would tell them this, like, look, if you're a running back, and people want you to play corner, they know you're an athlete, label yourself as an athlete and say, my main position is running back. But I'm able to play other positions. That way, like, say, for instance, you go and corner doesn't work out. Then they can say, you know what, we'll try you at running back. Because we already have you on scholarship. There's no point of us wasting your time at corner. Let's see what you do at running back. But I wouldn't just say, hey, look, I'm only playing this position. Because at the end of the day, you want to get your tuition paid for. A lot of times, like we just discussed, some teams find a diamond in the rough by just looking at like these smaller schools. You got some guys that's from Bland, some guys that's from D2s, SDSU, NDSU, all these just South Dakota, just the University of South Dakota. All these teams may have a diamond in the rough, and they got NFL teams coming in like, hey, bro, I just want to get some film of him. He's a great dude. And the way the transfer portal is, and I'm not trying to promote that, but that's how it is now. People go somewhere and say, for instance, he does pretty well at running back and he rushes for 2,000 yards and all of a sudden he could transfer to a D1 now where now he didn't got that opportunity. The way it's set up, it's a business now. If you have an opportunity to go play corner, go play it. Your tuition's paid for. You're getting everything done for you. That's one less stressful thing for your parents. You still get to play the game you love. Yeah, it's difficult for you, but you get 4 or 5 years to learn it. Mm-hmm. And if it's not there for you, guess what? They can maybe look at moving your position. Mm. But don't knock it, because like for me, I could have went out there and played safety, and it would have stuck like glue. And shoot, my brother would have been going to Vikings games. Mm-hmm. Never know. But don't say, nah, I'm not gonna go. Just because I ain't never played that. Like I said, it's a tough transition, but some people can do it. Mm. But for some, it's not. But don't ever say, well, I don't want to get my tuition paid for because I don't want to play corner. Shoot, if you're a dog, you're a dog. You're gonna be able to adjust, and that's the moral of the story. Like you said, some people play quarterback and now they receivers and all that. Sometimes it happens that way.
Like Greg Ward still thriving in the league.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Randall L, you know what I'm saying? When he was at the Steelers all them years, quarterback to receiver, like they're good. You know what I'm saying? Good chance. He played quarterback in college at Indiana. So yeah. So that's the thing. I want to say this too. I'm actually gonna let Trey end this show. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell him how I want him to end the show. But I'm gonna say first, I want me and Devin. I'm gonna speak for myself first. I was gonna say, man, it's definitely been an honor having you here. I ain't gonna lie, when I woke up this morning, I went to work skipping. Hey, kids, how are y'all? It's like I already knew what was gonna happen this evening. And I'm really kind of, a ball of energy most times anyway, as you can see. But, like, man, just really just happy, you know what I'm saying? Just really privileged, honored to have you in the building. This is big for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, huge. We're a young, you know what I'm saying, sports podcast, but just to have somebody of your caliber here, you know what I'm saying, devoting your time. I always say you can't borrow time, you can only take it away. Mm-hmm. So for you to be here on this Tuesday evening at almost, 9:30 in the evening, like spending time with us, having just candid conversation is really truly a blessing to us, but also a testament to who you are. So truly appreciate you for that. I'm gonna let Devin say what you want to say. Then I'm gonna tell Trey what I need him to do. Go ahead.
I'm dead. Nah, piggybacking off him, man. We really appreciate you, man. This means a lot. I feel like, man, like we're growing as a podcast, as a family, man, and to just have you be a part of that family by joining that it speaks volume. So like you said, I woke up happy. Like my fiance, she knew what time it was. I did a lot of research about you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a pleasure, just for you to be here with us. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Trey, that's what I want you to do. I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but the way I want to end this show, man, because again, we just, you know what I'm saying, like just feel so privileged. I just want you to kind of like get into your bag, whatever kind of bag it is, Ziploc, Michael Kors, whatever kind of bag it is, and just kind of like, do the closing comments, like just kind of give the flowers to your brother, however you want to do, and then we'll just end the show that way. That'd be great.
No, for sure. Just like y'all was saying, me, it's my only brother I got. I got a lot of people that I call my brothers and whatnot, like Devin, you, like y'all are definitely one of them, but it's my only blood brother I got. So growing up, we had our pops around and stuff, but like the birds and the bees talks growing up, just like toughening me up. Like that's what I went to my brother for. Anytime I got any type of, tough situations, anything like that, he's the first person I call, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to sports information, just things in life in general, girls, anything like that, like, just problems within the household, I go out to my car, call my brother on the phone, sit out there in the car for a couple hours, chop it up, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's always been my go-to when it comes to things. And I know when we got this podcast started, I knew how much this meant to us, like getting this thing rolling and stuff like that. And it just goes to show, like, me giving him a call, he telling me he coming down here, and I just tell him, like, hey, bro, me and my boys got a podcast going on. We love for you to be on there. He said, yeah, without a doubt. He didn't ask me, details about it. He batted an eye. He was just like, yeah, like I'm coming out there, you know what I'm saying? And he's definitely the blueprint of everything that I strive to be and wanted to become and have become when it's come to, my life as a young man and whatnot. And like, he knows I love him and I say it all the time, and it is a privilege to be able to have him on here. He's somebody I hold like real near and dear to my heart, and I be kind of selfish when it comes to sharing my relationship that I have with him with other people and whatnot, and letting other people get inside of our little bubble that we got, you know what I'm saying? But he my dog, and I appreciate him coming out here and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we got the rest of our lives, gonna keep it pushing. Both two Armstrong men, TA for life. We always said that when we was younger, you know what I'm saying? We gonna keep it pushing, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope, man. Super dope. Definitely, you know what I'm saying, round of applause for you as well for that. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying, like really, really good. I think it's really important to hear, like, as men, when we grow up, we're young as boys, a lot of times we're like programmed to be like these hard specimens of human. Like, we're not allowed to be emotional or have feelings expressed like that. And I think to be able to sit here in front of you and see you, dissect your relationship with your brother in such a, organic and just, like very detailed way, is amazing. So I think that's just hats off to you as well for that, for sure.
For sure.
Can't forget BioLite, you know what I'm saying? Devin, do your spill, brother, with the bio. You know what I'm saying? I hit the bottle twice, my fault, BioLite. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
We got BioLite, the IV in the bottle, 550% electrolytes, more than other competitors. It handles cramps, fatigues, it handles overindulgence. So if you eat too much, go ahead and drink one of these BioLites. After you finish a workout, drink that BioLite. Starting on this melon flavor, I love this flavor. It's kind of like if you like the cucumber Gatorade flavor, it's kind of similar to that. I really like this. So yeah, any thoughts on the flavor?
Hey, actually, make sure you let them know how they need to drink it.
Oh,
yeah. Got to.
I like that. But yeah, please drink it cold. We need this frozen. I've been having this in the refrigerator since I got off work, and it's still, semi-cold, but please drink this cold. That's when you get the best results. For sure.
Hey, man, I got one thing I need to throw in as well, too.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Bonfire.
Y'all know we crowd favorite, but we definitely got some merch on the way, as y'all can see. You know what I'm saying? Big hoodies. You got it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be available. Oh, yeah, we're going to get them one for sure.
Gotcha.
We're going to get them one for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. We're going to have the merch drop. Everybody, they can get them one. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna figure something out.
For sure. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. But D. Jones, play my theme music.
Oh, shoot. I got to cue it up. My bad. Wait, hold on.
Just remind me that video Dion. He was like, play my theme music. They play. He said, hold on, start over.
Pac-Man on the beat.
Yeah, you know it. Shout out MPH, man. Miles ahead of you.
Stop the beat.
Oh, my bad. I was finna hit an air horn. Go ahead.
Gotta give God
prayer.
thanks.
Gotta do our prayer.
Gotta give God thanks.
I'm sorry. My bad, Lord. We tripping. My fault. Go ahead.
We are tripping. Maybe bow our heads. Dear God, we thank you, Lord, for today. We thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today, Lord. We pray that you can guide us safely as we travel back home, Lord. And we pray that you watch over our family, our friends, Lord. We thank you for every opportunity that you give us every day that we wake up. We pray that our future is bright, Lord. We continue to just strive to be the best versions of ourselves, Lord. But under you, we're everything. But without you, we're nothing. So we just want to thank you, Lord. We love you, Lord. We give you all the honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Play my theme
I got
music.
you, my guy. I'll play it now. Let me see.
Thank you. Sorry, God.
There you go. Got you.
Yo.
Beat give me every time.
Hey, every time. It's like a stroll to it.
No cap.
Yeah. Hey, I don't wanna hit a cap, you can save it. With my guys and we got it up the pavement. Listen up, it's what everybody's saying.
How we
Round
doing?
of applause, give it up for the crowd
No cap.
favorite.
Hey, it's a noob on the
Round of
track.
applause, give it up for the crowd favorite.
favorite.
I got you.
Hey,
Hey,
miles ahead
round
of you.
applause, I know they weak by the look in their faces. All of these rings got me feeling like Brady. Say what I feel, I don't care how you take it. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite.
Hey, yeah.
Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Yeah.
Episode 6, baby.
Stay blessed.